We love it when the extraordinary breaks into reality. Because let's be honest, who doesn't? We always aim to show you that the unbelievable doesn't have to stay trapped in adventure books. The world is packed with strange occurrences, jaw-dropping discoveries, and of course, endless possibilities. But every now and then, we hit a wall. Those moments where something just seems impossible. It's human nature to doubt. Some call it negativity, others call it realism. But here's the thing. Just because something seems far-fetched doesn't mean it's off the table. And today, we're proving exactly that. We're bringing you 15 times the impossible became possible. We pretty much guarantee that by the end of this list, you'll be looking at the world with a fresh perspective, maybe even questioning a few impossibilities of your own. Let's start off with number 15, world's oldest gymnast. Ever feel like you're too old to start something new? Well, Johanna Quas would strongly disagree. At 86 years old, she's not just active, she's a record-holding gymnast. Most people slow down as they get older. Johanna, she just kept going. While most gymnasts peak in their teens or early 20s, she's out here flipping, balancing, and performing routines that would leave most of us in the ER. She doesn't just do gymnastics, she excels at it, showing the world that age is just a number. Watching her perform is both inspiring and humbling. If an 86-year-old can still crush it on the parallel bars, what's our excuse? Maybe the secret to aging isn't slowing down, it's staying active. So next time you feel lazy, just remember, Johanna is out there proving that no matter how old you are, it's never too late to be amazing. Life is pretty short, so instead of thinking about goodbye time, let's think about great time. Age is just a mere digit. Number 14, headbutt stone. Breaking a wooden board in karate? Impressive. Smashing a stack of building blocks with your head? That's next level insanity. But for one taekwondo champion, it was just another day at the office. This guy didn't just break one stone, he shattered 111 concrete blocks using nothing but his skull. No tricks, no shortcuts, no pre-broken slabs, just sheer force, precision, and what we can only assume is an unreal pain tolerance. Watching it happen is both mind-blowing and slightly painful, because let's be honest, just thinking about this gives us a headache. This feat set a new record, proving that some people are built differently. We'd love to know what kind of training went into this because, seriously, how do you even prepare for something like this? All we know is, if you ever challenge this guy to a headbutt contest, you will lose pretty badly. Number 13, skating on a roller coaster. We've seen some insane stunts, but this one, it defies logic. You've heard of skateboarding, you've heard of roller coasters, but skateboarding on a roller coaster? Now that's just ridiculous, or at least it sounds ridiculous, until you see it happen. Meet Dirk Auer, a fearless adrenaline junkie who took extreme sports to a whole new level by skating down an 860-meter roller coaster track in just 60 seconds. That's right. He strapped on specially designed inline skates and sped through the twists and turns at 56 miles per hour. For perspective, that's faster than a car cruising down a highway. And unlike a regular roller coaster, there were no seatbelts, no harnesses, just pure balance, skill, and nerves of steel. One wrong move? Well, let's not even go there. This might be one of the most terrifying stunts ever pulled off. The real question is, would you dare to try it? Or are you just fine watching from the sidelines? Well, let us know. Number 12, pulling a plane. Sports are full of how did that happen moments. We're talking about last-second game winners, record-shattering performances, and feats of strength that look straight out of a Marvel movie. But let's take a break from the usual suspects. Football, basketball, all that. Instead, let's talk about something a little more insane. Pulling an actual airplane. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet, that's exactly what happened. A group of 8 absolute units, otherwise known as strongmen, set a record by pulling the Antonov AN-225, the world's heaviest plane. Yeah, a plane. Using nothing but sheer strength, they dragged this beast 4.3 meters in just over a minute. Let that sink in. It wasn't just for bragging rights either. This record was set to celebrate Ukraine's 30th anniversary of independence. Talk about lifting a country's spirits, literally. But let's be real, we're just wondering how long it took them to recover. Because pulling a plane, that's gotta hurt the next day. Number 11, the driving dog. By now, you've seen enough crazy feats to know that nothing is truly impossible. But let's throw one more wild idea at you. A dog driving a car. No, not a cartoon, not a movie. This actually happened. Meet Monty, the world's first driving dog. This pup didn't just sit in the driver's seat for a cute photo. He actually learned to navigate, steer, and even shift gears. Thanks to a special training program, Monty proved that with enough patience, and probably a lot of treats, even a dog can get behind the wheel. Now, before you start worrying about a canine takeover of Uber, rest assured, he's not hitting the highway anytime soon. But still, it's incredible to watch. If dogs can drive, what else are they capable of? Maybe they're just biding their time before they take over the world. Until then, Monty remains the goodest boy to ever get a driver's license. Number 10, backflip basketball. The internet has given us some pretty wild viral sports moments, but trick shots? They're in a league of their own. Just when you think you've seen it all, half-court shots, blindfolded swishes, insane alley-oops, someone comes along and flips the game. Meet Will Bull Bullard, a Harlem Globetrotter with a knack for doing the impossible. His claim to fame? The farthest backward somersault basketball shot ever recorded. Yep, he flipped, launched the ball mid-air, and swish, 17.71 meters away. That's not just skill, that's next-level coordination. Of course, this is Bullard we're talking about, a Globetrotter legend, pulling off trick shots like it's just another Tuesday. Could the average person do this? Maybe, after a lifetime of practice and a few hundred failed attempts. But hey, feel free to try. Just maybe have some padding ready for when you don't land on your feet. Basically, if you want to do something, do it with your heart and legs. Number 9, cruise ship squeeze. We love a good that's impossible moment, especially when it gets proven wrong right before our eyes. Take a look at this canal, then look at this massive cruise ship. Logic says no way this boat is making it through. Too big, too tight, and way too nerve-wracking for anyone even slightly claustrophobic. But guess what? It fits perfectly. Welcome to the Corinth Canal, a 25-meter-wide waterway that seems to laugh in the face of common sense. Is the ship making this daring squeeze? It's a whopping 22 meters wide. That leaves just enough room to slide through, but only if the captain has hands steadier than a brain surgeon. One wrong move? Yeah, let's not think about that. Yet, as impossible as it looks, this ship glides through like it was made for it. A tight squeeze? Absolutely. But proof that sometimes even the most outrageous things are totally possible. Just maybe don't watch if tight spaces make you queasy. Number 8, air surfing. Some activities just sound flat out impossible until you actually see them in action. Take surfing, for example. If we told you to stand on a board and ride a moving wave, your first thought might be, yeah, right. But then, you watch a pro do it, and suddenly, it's not so impossible anymore. Now let's take that idea and turn it up a notch. Air surfing. If regular surfing is tough, what does that even mean? Well, buckle up, because this one's a wild ride. Air surfing is essentially another name for base jumping, but with a twist. The Flying Frenchies, a group of fearless aerial adventurers, took it to the extreme by surfing down a 1,950-foot-high zip line before base jumping off. Just watching it makes our stomachs drop. It's part superhero, part daredevil, and all kinds of insane. But for these thrill seekers, it's just another day at the office. Would you ever try it? Or does this just make you want to keep your feet firmly on the ground? Number 7. Hold your breath. David Blaine is proof that humans can push their limits in ways we never thought possible. Whether it's floating in the sky with balloons, being buried alive, or spending way too much time encased in ice, he keeps redefining what the human body can endure. But he's not the only one. Enter Tom Siedas, the man who holds the record for the longest breath hold, 20 minutes and 10 seconds. Yes, you read that right. While most of us struggle to last even a minute, Tom was underwater for an amount of time that seems downright impossible. And if that wasn't enough, his previous record was 17 minutes and 20 seconds, which means this guy is constantly pushing his own boundaries. But here's the real question. Why? What drives someone to test their body like this? Maybe it's the thrill of breaking records. Maybe it's a quest to see just how much a person can endure. Either way, we hope he doesn't try for 25 minutes next. Number 6. Villagers pull a truck. Pulling a plane? Well, it is crazy. But what about pulling a truck without years of weightlifting, training, or protein shakes? Of course, it sounds pretty impossible, right? But not if you're part of this group of villagers who proved that sometimes pure teamwork beats brute strength. No fancy equipment, no high-tech pulleys, just a whole lot of determined people coming together to pull a massive truck out of a deep gorge. And they didn't just give it a nudge, they pulled this thing like their lives depended on it. The number of people? Well, it's hard to say. Could be 50, could be 100. But every single one of them had the same goal: get that truck out. And they did. No individual heroics, no record-breaking feats, just a community working together to do something that seemed impossible. If that's not proof that teamwork makes the dream work, we don't know what is. Maybe the world could use a little more of that. All right now, let's move to number 5. Volcano tightrope. Walking across a tightrope is already terrifying. Now imagine doing it over an active volcano. No safety harness, no backup plan, just you, the rope, and a whole lot of heat beneath your feet. Sounds like something only a complete daredevil would attempt, right? Well, meet Nick Wallenda. This guy is no stranger to high-risk stunts. He's walked between skyscrapers, across the Grand Canyon, and now straight over Messiah Volcano, one of the most active volcanoes in the world. One wrong step? Let's not even go there. What makes this even crazier is that his family has a long history of tightrope walking, including his great-grandfather, who tragically lost his life performing a similar stunt. But Nick? He trained for years, preparing for the ultimate balancing act. Watching him inch across that rope, surrounded by smoke and lava, is nothing short of nerve-wracking. Well, guys, we definitely don't recommend trying this at home. Number 4, doppelgangers. Life is already pretty weird, but every now and then, reality throws something at us that makes us question everything. Case in point, imagine running into a stranger who looks exactly like you. Same face, same features, maybe even the same mannerisms. No, not a long-lost twin, just a complete coincidence. That's exactly what happened with Brady Fiegel. 2 baseball players with identical faces, identical red hair, and identical beards. They had so many similarities that they took a DNA test just to be sure they weren't secretly related. The results? They weren't. But they did share some distant ancestry. It's enough to make you wonder, how many people out there look exactly like you? Is there another version of you walking around in some other country completely unaware? Science says it's possible, and honestly, that's kind of freaky. Number 3, Iceman Wim Hof. Some people fear the cold. Others become the cold. Wim Hof? He embraces it like a long-lost friend. Known as the Iceman, Wim Hof has done things that should, by all accounts, be impossible. He's swum in 2°C water, climbed mountains wearing nothing but shorts, and held world records for extreme cold endurance. His secret? He believes that the human body can be trained to withstand anything. It's all about the mind. Through breathing techniques and sheer willpower, Wim has defied science and proven that the body is capable of far more than we think. Scientists have even studied him, trying to figure out how he does it. And while we wouldn't recommend taking a dive into freezing water anytime soon, it does make you wonder just how much of our limits are real, and how much is just mental blocks. Either way, one thing's for sure. This guy is the closest thing we have to a real-life superhero. Number 2. Remembering pi. We've covered daredevils, magicians, and even dogs behind the wheel. Now, let's talk about math. Well, we just hate this stuff more than anything. It's hard, crap, and crack. But anyway, let's talk about it. Daniel Tammet is a man who has memorized and recited 22,514 digits of pi. Yes, that's 22,000. And he did it all from memory. For most of us, remembering a phone number is hard enough. But Daniel? His brain works differently. He sees numbers in patterns, almost like a mental painting. He's what's known as a savant, someone with an extraordinary ability that seems almost superhuman. Now, we're not saying he's secretly a robot, but let's just say, if anyone could pass as a human calculator, it's him. Watching him rattle off thousands of digits is both mesmerizing and a little intimidating. If only we could borrow a fraction of that brain power, math class would have been so much easier. Well, now we love math. Number 1. Flying tables. Magic isn't just about making things disappear. It's about making the impossible feel real. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good levitation trick? Now, we've seen floating people, hovering objects, and even some wild illusions from the legendary David Blaine. But a flying table? That's something new. Meet Losander, a magician who took the classic floating illusion and made it his signature act. He doesn't just lift the table. He makes it dance in the air, glide effortlessly, and defy gravity right in front of your eyes. No wires, no obvious tricks, just pure sleight of hand and some well-guarded magician's secrets. Of course, skeptics might say he's holding the tablecloth or using some unseen rope. But let's be real. Sometimes it's more fun to just believe. Magic reminds us that not everything needs an explanation. And maybe, just maybe, suspending disbelief for a moment is its own kind of magic. Well, hope you have found this video interesting. If you did, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.